Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. 15-year-old arrested with illegal firearm during gun amnesty. Security forces seized 22 illegal firearms and made several arrests during the recently concluded gun amnesty. Among those arrested for illegal possession of a firearm was a 15-year-old boy. Prime Minister Andrew Holness made the disclosure in the sitting of the House of Representatives recently. The gun amnesty, which started on November 5th, ended at midnight on Saturday, November 19. The Prime Minister expressed sadness of the arrest of the child, but noted that the government had to treat gun crimes seriously. Under the new Firearms Act, the 15-year-old boy faces up to 15 years in prison. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister also disclosed that more than 100 firearms and 3,000 rounds of ammunition were handed over to the authorities under the gun amnesty. Mr. Holness said the amnesty was introduced to give persons who may be in possession of illegal or unregistered firearms, whether criminal or otherwise acquired, the last opportunity to avoid significant sentencing ensured in the new Firearms Act. No intention to seek public refunds for allowances already paid to public sector, says Clark. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark said there are no intentions to recover allowances already paid to public sector as part of the implementation of the new compensation system. Dr. Clark was speaking in the House of Representatives earlier this week.
This is not an increase. This is a complete dismantling of an old compensation system and put in its place something entirely new. It's an extremely ambitious exercise, and the steps involved in implementing it now are many. There has to be training of payroll officers for the calculations that now obtained given the agreements, right? We had to agree what the conversion was going to be, 1 to 4, 2 to 5, from 1 to 4 to 1, from 5 to 8 to 2, and all of those things. You have to make sure that all payroll officers understand this, instructions to ministries, departments, and agencies, calculation of new salaries. The Public Expenditure Division has to complete all the pages, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then we have to go through the whole supplementary process. Persons at the bottom of the scale who are on the lowest salaries in government will experience a substantial increase in emoluments and in take-home pay. And this is a restructuring. If we were seeking to simply increase everyone's salary by the same amount, we would not restructure the system. The system is filled with inequities and imbalances and things that are inconsistent. And the only way to address those imbalances and inequities and inconsistencies is to reconfigure the entire system, actually to disband the old system and to implement a new one with a mapping between the two. Now, when you do that...
Chang defends decision to build Green Acres Police Station. Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang has defended the decision to build the new Green Acres Police Station in St. Catherine, urging that it was a community in its desperate need of the facility that had decided on the Green Island site, which later turned out to be flood-prone. Speaking in the House of Representatives on Tuesday, he explained they made it very clear that the road is likely to be flooded, but the location which the green space for the community would not be flooded, and they expected that the National Works Agency NWA would do the work to provide the drainage, which the NWA has agreed to. The station was required as a matter of urgency. There had been significant criminal activities in the area. The old station was miles away and was falling apart. At last week's examination of the first supplementary estimates by the Public Administration and Appropriates Committee, PAAC, the National Security Minister came up short on answers regarding the approval for construction of the police station in that area. Assistant Commissioner of Police Warren Clark told the PAAC that the area had always been one of a challenge and that the flooding problem has been assessed before construction on the $65 million project. Admittedly, he tried to avoid it because we know we had problems. However, we were assured by experts that the area would be adequately drained. We took their advice, and when we continued, we heard that some other design was necessary. However, there was some adjustment to the prescription, which caused the engineer to redesign the solution, he explained, advising that the station is 90% complete. The police station, which was flooded by heavy rains in October, remains unoccupied while the drain issues are fixed, and Dr. Chang promised that the work should be completed by next March. He said the residents themselves had designed the station, raised initiative funding, and identified a contractor, to which the plans were submitted and approved by the ministry. Having laid out a policy, we did not redesign to meet the standards of the police stations. When the redesign was done, we needed more money and we proceeded to build, he continued. During the tabling of the report on the issue discussed with the various ministries and agencies at the PAAC sitting, St. Catherine Southern Member of Parliament Fitz Jackson had again raised the matter, which prompted Dr. Chang's response. Said Jackson, if we are failing to observe the standards that we impose, what can we expect from the ordinary citizens out there? 90% completed and periodical inspection that is required that the government agency didn't do it. And what happened? The place is flooded. To compromise the use of the police station in due time, we are told that 70 million has to be spent for the drain. The minister maintained that the interior of the station itself was not flooded, only the roadway to the station. Normally, the road is not flooded. The contractor did, in fact, put the building on a platform above ground. The ministry decided that before opening the station, we will in fact put the drainage to protect the station. That is being done now. Barrier technology being used to prevent gully garbage from entering Kingston Harbor. Since February, the Kingston Harbor Cleanup Pilot Project has been using barrier technology to trap and prevent garbage from Kingston Pen, Barnes and Raytown gullies, 3 of the 11 most populated gullies in the corporate area entering the harbor. The Grace Kennedy Foundation, GKF, which provides administrative and project management support for the project, made the disclosure in a document, details of which was obtained by reporters. According to GKF, between February and October, the pilot project used barrier technology and 9 beach cleanups to prevent over 200,000 kg of garbage from entering the Kingston Harbor. The organizations involved in the Kingston Harbor Cleanup Project are Ocean Cleanup, a Dutch non-profit environmental organization, Clean Harbors Jamaica CHG, and the GKF. Ocean Cleanup is the NGO providing funding, expert and technology for the project. The local company CHO are the operators of the interceptor technology that is responsible for the maintenance of the barriers and the management of the overloading site. Restoration of the Kingston Harbor has been a long-standing focus of the Grace Kennedy Group. GFK is also coordinating cleanups and providing stakeholders outreach for the project. Under Interceptor Solution, one of the 2 main components of the project, interceptor barriers filled with the mouth of the gullies are used to trap debris. Ocean cleanups, small barge named interceptor trenders, are not used to transport the debris trapped by the barriers to an offloading site for sorting and disposal. The GKF said that the Recycling Partners of Jamaica has been collecting the salvageable plastic waste, while non-plastic waste is taken to the National Solid Waste Management Authority authorized disposal site. GKF said that the scaling up of the project to include the trapping of garbage from other 8 more populating corporate air gullies is also being explored. The government agencies have been instrumental in assisting the project, including the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, the Port Authority of Jamaica, the National Environment Planning Agency, and the National Solid Waste Management Authority. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell